What's happening, everybody? I'm Ali Burns from Picks and Parlays, and this is another round of total chaos. We're doing kind of a mashup today because we got a lot going on this Thursday, May the 26th, NBA, NHL playoffs, and we threw in 2 MLB games for you. These 2 experts are going to let us know if they go over or under the total. But before we get started, you got to like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and don't forget about our official sponsor, Caesar Sportsbook. They're going to hook you up with up to $1,100 in first bet insurance. If you're a new account, use the promo code morning. Sorry, I clearly was not ready to start going yet. Use the promo code morning CZR or check out the description of this video and click on the link. That's where you get yourself hooked up. All right, it's one of my favorite days of the week. The Winners and Whiners crew is here. I've got the Scott Steehn and Scott Reichel. Scott Steehn, how are you doing today, friend?
Good, Ellie. How are you?
I'm rocking. You won it last week. You were 4-1. Yep. Nice work. So I'm sure you're, let me whistle through my teeth now. I'm sure you're looking forward to get right back into it. That's 2 really good weeks in a row out of you, isn't it?
About time. We were a little in the hole. We've dug our way out. So now we need to get in positive territory. So yeah, I'm ready. By the way, I predict Reichel and I match up on all 5 games, and we have not discussed them beforehand, but I predict we match on all 5.
I know we're going to match up on 3 minimum. So we'll see what happens with the other 2.
Over under 3.5.
It's a pretty sharp line.
Oh, it's minus 140, by the way.
I think I'd lean over.
Yeah.
Just because you're basically coin flipping the other 2.
Lay the juice. Only losers pay juice.
Yeah.
All right.
You don't pay juice on winners. Scott Reichel, back from Vegas. It was cool to hang out with you while you were here in Vegas. Me and Scott met up for a drink. You are back in New York now, a busy podcaster you were over the week. How are you doing? How are you feeling about being back in the ring? You were 3-2 last week, so it was a close one. The viewers made money. Either way we look at it, viewers made money here.
Yeah, I'll take it. Overall, I had a bad couple of performances in a row, but now back to 1 positive performance. Baby steps, so we'll see if that carries over.
And just for the record, Ellie, you always say the consensus picks are the best. The consensus picks did go 3-0 last week. So
boom, consensus 3-0. I love it. Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know how this works, I'm going to give them 5 games. Like I said, 2 NHL, 2 MLB, and the 1 NBA playoff game. They're going to tell me if they're going over or under the total. Whoever gets the most correct comes back next week as the champion. Are you guys ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I'm glad, because if not, then you're screwed. It's happening right now, live time. Okay, so we're going to start off with some baseball. We're going to go Dodgers, Diamondbacks. The number's 9. We got righty Mitch White and another righty Castellanos. Steehn, you're the champ from last week, so you're going to go first. Over or under the 9?
Well, as we record this, we're about an hour plus away after the Dodgers have scored 0 runs, getting shut out by Eric Fetty for 8 innings.
Oh my gosh, Sean Higgs was right.
Having said that, with Mitch White going against Castellanos, I cannot get behind the under here in any way, shape, or form. This is a Dodgers team that, even with their dismal performance here earlier this afternoon, they're still first in the majors in runs. They're still first in the majors in runs on the road. They've scored 5 or more in 8 of their last 11. Arizona, they have been not good, but they've been able to score some runs, but the pitching has been awful. Their games have averaged 13.2 runs per game over the last 5. I would not respect myself if I didn't take the over here.
All right. Over we go. Scott Reichel, do you agree or disagree?
I'm going with the over as well, including the shutout loss today. The Dodgers have scored at least 7 runs in 3 of their last 5 games. Arizona has scored at least 7 runs in 4 of its last 5 games. So both teams offensively have been good more often than not. And you have Mitch White, as you said before, pitching for the Dodgers. Not exactly good. 6.17 ERA. I think Arizona could end up getting a couple runs across him. And I do believe the Dodgers should do enough against Castellanos to potentially push this game to 10. But at 9, total might seem a bit high. It really isn't. I'm going to go with the over.
All right, so we agree. Our first consensus pick of the round. I do love that. I like the Diamondbacks. I don't know why everyone gives them such a hard time. Like, they're kind of doing things. Granted, they're playing the Royals and the Cubs, though, so there is that.
It's about expectations, They're not a great team, but when you're expected to be a bottom 5 team in the league, and you're a bottom 10 team in the league,
Woohoo!
You moved up 5 spots. It's not
I
that
mean,
bad.
they've won 5 of their last 6. I can't. I ain't hating
Yeah.
on you, and I've been cashing on them. So
Royals would kill to be the 8th worst team in baseball.
exactly. Okay, so Ranger. Speaking of worst teams in baseball, let's talk about the Rangers and the A's. The number on this one is 7. We've got lefty Perez and righty Montas. Reichel, you're up first on this one.
So this total does seem very low, but I think it's for good reason. I'm going to take the under. Perez is pitching for Texas, as you said before. On the road this season, 22 innings pitched, 0 runs allowed. 0. So Perez has been completely just flawless on the highway up to this point. Meanwhile, you have Montes on the mound as he officially was cleared to pitch in this game. He pitched against Texas once this season, 7 1/3 innings pitched, 2 runs. The worst part is he lost the game. So they gave him no run support either. But I'm looking at both pitchers who have been pretty good this season, Perez especially on the road. We know Oakland can hit. So for me, I'm going with the under. I think you'll see this game probably end 3-2, something like that.
Steen, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, cash those over 3.5 tickets, by the way. You can go ahead and start heading back to the window. Neither one of these teams can score. Scott talked about Oakland being incompetent. They're 28th in the majors in runs. Texas is 20th. And as far as Perez's starts go, the under is 5-2-1. Montas, the under is 6-2. This one stays under the total as well.
22 innings, no runs on the road. Like, why isn't nobody talking about this?
We are.
I know. I'm just saying, Perez has been amazing.
Yeah, he has, especially.
I didn't realize that until you just said it. So I'm happy to hear that because I will start paying more attention to him and what he's doing.
And it's a good time to mention. It's always good to take a look at unders. Number one in Oakland, because number one, you've got the night air coming off of the Pacific Ocean, but number two, you have nowhere has more foul territory than the Coliseum. So you get a lot of balls that normally would be in the 3rd or 4th row of the stands, and they're caught by the catcher or the first baseman. So unders tend to play really well in Oakland.
Very nice tips, sir. You should do this for a living.
I'm telling you, I really miss the call.
Sharp, Scott Steehn. You are a sharp cookie. Sharp cookie. I don't think that was where I was going with that. But anyway, let's talk Mavericks at the Warriors. 215.5. I think it all ends for the Mavericks in this game. But that's not our job to decide right now. We just need to know, does it go over or under the total, Scott Steehn?
Yeah, I think it goes over the total. This is a Golden State team that, even though they didn't play well the other night, the offense has still been doing their job. 114 points per game, 119 points in the 2 games at home. Dallas has really not figured out how to solve the backcourt, the back cut problem of the Warriors. I think Golden State puts up 220 plus, and that should be 120, and that should be enough to drag this one over the total.
What do you think, Reichel?
I'm going to go with the over as well. Just looking at Golden State offensively in the series, they've scored at least 109 points in each of the first 4 games. So even in an awful game like last time out, they still scored 109. But I'm looking at a situation where Dallas, really the story of the game is going to be if they hit 3-point shots. And it seemed like the supporting cast finally woke up a tad and actually made a decent amount of shots. But the main takeaway that I had from Game 4, besides the obvious shot making, was the pace. And Dallas seemed to finally be willing to play a little bit faster because they kept trying to slow it down. It kept backfiring dramatically. They finally played a little bit more up-tempo, and it worked out. I do think that should be the case once again. But if you want to go through some trends, the over is 14-6 in the last 20 meetings. There's a couple ways this goes over. Either Golden State goes nuts at home, or Dallas makes a decent amount of 3-pointers. But I do think eventually you'll find this game landing somewhere around 220.
I think both of those things happen. I think the Warriors go nuts at home, and if the Mavericks want to contend with this, they've got to hit their 3-pointers. So, I mean, I think both of those things are going to happen, and I think the Warriors send the Mavericks back to not in the playoffs.
And I know that Scott and I are already going to agree on hockey. So
I told you 5 for 5.
This is just going to be 5 for 5.
End it now. See you later. All right. Have a great night, everyone. Good.
Okay. So it's you on the under.
So y'all start thinking about what your best bet is so we can have a winner. Okay?
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
So Reichel, we've got Rangers Hurricanes 5.5, and you're up first.
I'm going with the under. I mean, I don't really know how you're supposed to take an over in this one because each of the first 4 games in the series have had less than 6 goals. And the first 2 games in the series were in Carolina, and each of those games had less than 4 goals. The issue is based on what happened in the first round where both teams were over machines. It seems like they overcorrected and forgot how to score and mostly became defensive juggernauts. But you have Igor on one side who's been amazing in net, and on the other hand, you have Ronta, who's been very good at home and pretty underwhelming on the road. But Carolina has been night and day defensively with the home road splits, and I do think they'll bounce back. Give me the under. I think you'll see another 2-1 grind fest here.
All right, Scott Steehn, night and day. You are the under for me? What do you got here?
Gotta be. There's just no way to play the over here.
You can argue empty netters, but I mean, you haven't even been close with those.
No. No, I mean, if it's, and even if it's 2-1, you get the empty netter, it doesn't really matter. And I think
you get 2 empty netters, it still doesn't matter.
Yeah, math checks out on that. Absolutely.
Yeah, carry this. Yeah, that adds up. Yeah.
So yeah, as far as my best bet, I think this is probably it.
Okay. Call in the best bet now. Okay, so tell me about Edmonton and Calgary, 6.5 there, over under, Steehn.
Well, this is the series that's been the over machine. Even throwing out the 9-6 opener, the other 3 games have averaged 7 goals apiece. The over's 3-1 in the 4 games in this series. Yeah, both of them questionable goaltending right now. Mike Smith, questionable goaltender always. Markstrom just playing really bad hockey right now. I think this one goes over the total as well.
Holy crap, that slap shot into Markstrom. Markstrom did not know what was coming in that last game. Like on the Edmonton power play, and dude just whacks that puck down there to tie it up. Oh my God, I was losing my mind. I'm so checked out of the NBA playoffs right now because I'm so into hockey. Okay, Reichel, over or under the 6.5.
That's the story of your villain arc. You went full circle on the NHL playoffs.
I did.
I've been trying to convert you to that for a couple weeks, and you're finally on board. Maybe because the NBA playoffs have been awful.
I get there. It took me a little longer this season because Vegas wasn't in it. So
no, it took you 15 NBA blowouts in the playoffs before you finally realized that.
And I had a series ticket on the Lightning. Like I started cashing some decent series prices and tickets. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to totally start paying attention to this now. But yeah, so I'm converted. Fine, Reichel, I'm there.
One of us. Yeah.
I'll take it. Tell you you're taking the over. We can get out of here.
Yeah, it's my best bet. I'm taking the over. I mean, there's no way I'm taking the under between these two teams. 3 of the first 4 games in the series have had at least 8 goals. 6 of the 8 meetings this season have had at least 7 goals. Edmonton has scored at least 4 goals in each game of the series. So when you have one team scoring 4+, you're not going to take an under. And you have Smith against Markstrom in net. And both of them have been terrible. And Markstrom especially, his confidence is probably at an all-time low right now. But the way that I see it, both teams love to go up and down on the ice. Should see a lot of opportunities, a lot of awful defense, a lot of terrible goaltending. Not to mention the empty netters and even the potential 3-3 overtime draw. I think both these teams get to 3. Or each of these teams get to 3. So I think you'll eventually see this game land 7 or 8. So this is my best bet. Give me the over.
Hey, all right. The knuckle puck. That's what he shot at Markstrom. The old knuckle puck. Okay, so let's do a little bit of recapping, but I want to remind everyone where you can find these two guys. Monday through Friday, they are on Back to the Window with Scott and Scott. It's aptly named 3 p.m. Eastern every day. Scott Steehn, tell them what you're doing over there every day.
First of all, we're having a lot of fun. We've got some segments that we do. We recap yesterday's action with some bad beats and some easy wins. But more importantly, we talk to everybody in the comment section in real time. And the topics, Scott, can we say the topics are wide ranging?
Yeah, we could say that. You say that. We could say the segues are unprecedentedly long.
Yes, there you go.
Was that correct?
No, not a bit. But
okay,
it's fine.
They're long.
B+, good effort.
I tried.
You're expanding your vocabulary. You're doing great.
I know. The thing is, I tried to expand the vocabulary. It backfired.
But you should read books. That helps. I hear.
You've expanded your vocabulary beyond words that exist. So
I spoke like somebody who was trying to type an essay, but accidentally added a couple of letters when their fingers got stuck to the keyboard.
Yep.
That's kind of what happened.
I do that. I find myself putting an extra syllable in words and stuff. Like I don't even know how that happened. So, but yeah, it's we have a lot of fun. We lay out our favorite plays of the day. We do our we put on goofy hats and do bet the farm at the end of our favorite play of the day. So we're just coming off a 5-game winning streak there.
Let's go. It's because I'm not betting on them. That's why I'm telling you.
It's a good time, and I do the show with Chris an hour before that. So if you're really bored in the afternoon and you've got the entire afternoon open, stop by and see me and Chris King doing just parlays at 2 p.m. Eastern time. as Chris lays out, like a couple 2-teamers, a 4-teamer, and then a shot in the dark 10-teamers. So there you go.
Oh my gosh, that made my stomach hurt. Good luck to you. 10-teamers. Oh my God. So yeah, check out Just Parlays with Chris King at 2 p.m. Eastern. Back to the Window with Scott and Scott at 3 p.m. Eastern. You can find Scott Steehn at Steamroller, and Scott Reichel is at Reichel Radio. What are you doing over at Reichel Radio, Scott Reichel?
Mostly ranting about sports, but occasionally giving out some tennis picks, which have gone well up to this point in the French Open. Besides that, been on a bit of a heater recently. Ended up cashing a 17-1 parlay on Monday. Then I cashed a 13-1 parlay on Tuesday, and then I left Vegas. So I took my money and ran, and hopefully we'll cash some tickets on Wednesday.
You got out alive. That's the tough part.
Mm-hmm.
Making the money only sort of hard, but keeping the money in your pocket, that's the more difficult
I can pay for
part.
some liver recovery, but besides that.
There you go. You're welcome. All right. So let's do a little recap, and I'll let you knuckleheads back at it. Like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and don't forget Caesar Sportsbook. Up to $1,100 in first bet insurance for all new accounts. Use that promo code MORNINGCR. All right, here we go. We got the Dodgers at the D-backs. It's a 9, and they're both going over. Rangers and A's are a 7. They're both taking it under. Mavs and the Warriors, 215.5. They both go over the total. Rangers and the Hurricanes, 5.5 in the hockey. They're both going under. That is Scott Stehn's best bet. Rangers going under 5.5. And then Edmonton at Calgary, they're taking it over. And that is Scott Reichel's best bet. So that's the way we're playing this round of Total Chaos. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Everyone like, subscribe, ring the bell. And like I always say, may the best capper win. Good luck, guys.